Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm going to show you how you can make a teleporting system where you can unlock locations and teleport there only if you have it unlocked. And I'm going to change how I do these tutorials a bit. So I'm going to actually go through everything. I'm not going to have it all made and then kind of briefly go through it. I'm going to just make everything now while I'm recording it. So yeah, you should probably see it on screen right now. This is a voiceover. And I will be going through every single part, like the UI, and making, the location that you can unlock. So yeah, let's just start. So in script service, you want to add a normal script, and this is just going to be a simple leaderstats to create a currency and to check if you have a location unlocked. Now this isn't going to include a data store. It's not going to have one. I did make a video for that, so if you want to go and learn data stores, you can go and look at that one, and then you can add it to this yourself. So what we want to do is game.players player added connect function, and I'm also going to explain what things mean as I go along. We don't want the assistant. That's kind of the benefit of being able to do this. Okay, so this basically just fires whatever's inside when the player is added, and here we need to have the player, because this is the player who was added. And in here we will just create a leaderstats instance.new folder. So instance.new just creates something new, and inside of these brackets and quotations you want to have the thing you want to add. So you can have like a part folder, you can have basically anything in here, but we're going to have a folder because inside this folder we're going to store the values. And here you can put a comma and do player. This basically just is the same as doing leaderstats.parent is equal to player. It's the same as doing that, but it's just a lot shorter and quicker. Okay, so now we just have to name it. Leaderstats.name is equal to leaderstats. Now, if you want this to not show in the top right, then you can just, I'll actually show you that as well. Oh, whoops. I didn't add a value, so 1 second. I'll get back to the naming thing. Let me just add a value. So we're gonna have coins. Instance.new. You do the same thing, and int value. Int value is just a whole number. If you want to have decimals, you do number value. This one, but I'm not gonna have that. And you do the same thing, and you put it inside the leaderstats, and you just name it to coins. And you give it the value of, let's say, 10. Now, if the L here is lowercase, it will show it in the top right. If you change this to anything other than that, it won't show in the top right. So if you don't want it to show, just change this to anything else. Otherwise, you leave it as lowercase l, leaderstats. And let me actually zoom in a bit. Okay, so now we just have a simple coins value, and I'm just gonna make this a bit bigger because I'm not gonna make a way to increase the value. This is just, a number that we can use to unlock new areas. So now we need to have a location to unlock. So inside of the workspace, we can just add a folder, and we can call this map. Inside of the map, we'll have all our locations. So we can just have location 1. And location 2, and let's just say like the spawn, and we'd have to box these out real quick so that you can't really go past a certain location. So let's say this is the door to location 1. Actually, the light's making a shadow, so we'll do it like this. This is location 1, and let's just make a wall. There we go. These don't need to be transparent. And we'll just make them different color. Okay, that's location 1. And I'll quickly extend it a bit more. And this will be the gate for location 2. So, obviously these are collidable. You can't walk through them, which is how we're going to really change if you can get to the next location or not. We're going to make it so you can walk through this. And let me just add a floor. There we go. Spawn location, bring it up. Okay. And you know, you can obviously change things however you want, colors and stuff. I'm not going to do that. It will just take longer. And I actually need to position these. So these are the locations. So this is location 1 interact. You could just call it like interact 1 for location 1. You have to interact with it, and then the other one, which is you, we'll just call it interact 2. And we'll put down location 2. This isn't really needed for this, it's just so you can separate all your different blocks and stuff and put them inside the whatever location they're for. It's just so it makes it look a bit nicer. I could just take it out because I'm not going to make a map. So I'm just going to take it out of the map and delete these because I'm not going to make a map. And now we have the two things we interact with to buy it. Inside of these, we will add a proximity prompt like this. This is how we will interact with it. This is what a proximity prompt looks like. This. I did forget to anchor everything, so select everything and go to the properties and anchor it. Or you could just press this button here. And now we have to actually, well, before that, we need to increase the activation distance so that we can activate it from further away. I think 20 is good. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so now we want something to happen when we interact with this. What is going to happen is it's going to give us a new value. So I'll just create these now actually. We're going to have location 1 unlocked is instance.new. Bool value just means true or false. And we're going to put this inside the leaderstats as well. Name is location 1. Or I can just call it 1 unlocked. So do I have location 1 unlocked? And the value for that will be false, so it's not unlocked as a base. And we'll do the same for 2. Is location 2 unlocked? False. And rename this to 2. There we go. Now we have 2 values for location 1 and location 2. And there you go, you can see them. You can hide those if you don't want those to be visible, so you can just create a new folder for hidden stats and just call it hidden stats, and now it won't show in the top right. Oh wait, I forgot to actually change what they're parented to. Hidden stats. Hidden stats. Now they won't show in the top right, but if you go inside of your player and inside of the folder hidden stats, you can see that you still have them. Yeah. Now we actually need to change these values when you interact with the blocks themselves. So inside of the parts themselves, you can just add a script for location 1 and for location 2. But this is the simplest way to go about it, unless you want to have a script that handles all of them, which we can actually just do that instead. Inside of server script service, let's just rename this data, this script here. We can rename that to data, and then add a new script for unlock locations. And in here, we will just get the locations workspace.map. That's where the locations are. And from here, we can just do locations dot interact 1 dot proximity prompt triggered. Yes, triggered. Connect function. Yeah, the player. So what this basically is going to do, when you hold E or you press E and interact with the proximity prompt, then it will run any code that's in here. And you have to use .triggered for this on the proximity prompt. So we will just first off check if the player has enough money. So the coins value. So we will do local coins equal player dot coins, or no, player dot leaderstats dot coins, and we will just check if coins dot value is more than or equal to. You can just put the prices to whatever you want. So let's say 100 coins. Then don't do that. print location 1 unlocked. This is just to test it, and then we can just copy this and do it for location 2 as well. And for location 2, we will say it's 250. Location 2 unlocked. We won't actually be able to get through because we still won't be able to pass through this. I'll get to that after, but let's just quickly check. There you go, location 1 is unlocked. It doesn't take away your money yet, so in here we want to do coins.value minus equals 100. So it'll, minus equals just means, oh, and I didn't explain what this is either. This just means if it's more than or equal to, and this just means that it will take it away from what it currently is. So take away from what it currently is by 100. And one more check we want to do is and player dot hidden stats dot location, I forgot what I called it, dot 1 unlocked dot value is equal to false. Then so it'll also check if you don't have it unlocked, because now we're going to change this to true. So now you do have the location unlocked. There we go. Now here you'll see, look at my coins. I press it once and I can't unlock it again. Great. And you can just copy this code for the other one as well. Right there. Of course, you will have to change the text to 2 unlocked. And this to 250 because you've taken away 250. Perfect. Now, next thing, we need to actually make it so you can walk through this now. The way we can go about this is inside of replicated storage, you can just add a folder for remotes. And inside of this folder, we can add a remote event for hide locations like hide barriers. There we go, hide barrier. And in here now, we will get the remote real quick. So don't do that. At the top, just do local RP is game get service replicated storage, which just gets this, the replicated storage. And from that, we will get the remote. So local remote is rp.remotes.hide barrier. So now we have the remote, and we're gonna fire the remote right here. Fire client. So this is gonna send from the server, which is this script, to a client script, which we will add now inside a local script service right here. We'll start the player scripts inside of starter player. We'll just add a local script in there. And in here we will just fire 1, player, 1. In here we will do the exact same thing for this. Get this. Actually, we need all of this, so just copy all of that in here. And from the remote, we do remote.onClientEvent connect function. This just means you are receiving the fire client on this the local script, and we need the player and the number. So let's call it value. If value is 1, then else. If value is 2, then. Okay. So if value is 1, then we will hide inside the locations dot map dot interact dot can collide is equal to false, and we want to change dot interact 1 locations dot interact 1 dot transparency is equal to 1. So this is just going to make it invisible, and it's going to make it so you can walk through it. And the reason we're not just doing this in this script is because in this script it would do it for everyone because it's on the server. And I can actually give you an example of that. For example, if here I was to delete this part, interact 1, I deleted it. I can walk through it, that's fine, but on the server it is still there. So other people can't walk through it. So if I were to delete it on the server, everyone could walk through it. That's pretty much it. Transparency 1, and we will just do the exact same thing here for interact 2, which is the second location. Okay, and we need to finally just copy this into here and say 2, and I do need to add this as well for location 2 to unlocked. There we go. So if I press play now, I interact with it. I actually don't think you need player there. Yeah, you don't need player there. Okay, now that does still show. I think you can just disable that as well inside of here. Yep, you can just disable it. So you can just do locations.interact1.proximity prompt.enabled is false. Copy this over to here and do it for interact 2, which is location 2. And now it'll hide that as well. Perfect. Location 1's unlocked. Location 2 is unlocked. Great. Final thing, we will make a GUI to teleport you between the locations. So start the GUI in here. You want to add a screen GUI. You can just call this locations or teleporter. In here we will add a frame. Just drag it to the middle. And here you can just make some, I'm going to make some quick UI. You can, make something nice. So this will just be the background. I'll call it background. And I'll change the color a bit. Let's say like, there we go. In the background, we're going to add a button or text button for location 1. Location 1. And that could be the text as well. Location 1. And we will scale the text. This is the button for location 1. So if we press this, it's going to teleport us to location 1. We do need one for the lobby as well. So you will be lobby. And lobby. There we go. And the final one for location 2. Location 2 and location 2. And now all we need is a simple script that will teleport you to a location that we will mark in just a second. And if you want to just turn the UI off in studio only, you can just press UI visibility here and it'll just turn it off so you can't see it and you can keep doing whatever you were doing. This is inside of view and UI visibility. Okay, and now we need some parts for the places you're going to teleport to. So just get a part down, make it like 1 by 1, and I'm going to make it 0.5 transparency just so I can see it for the moment. Make sure can collide is off and anchored is on for these parts. And then we're going to name you location 1 teleport. And we can just put this inside of the map. So you are going to be location 1 teleport, which we can just put right there. Go up. And then here it can be for location 2 teleport. So if you're in location 2, it'll teleport you here. And of course, we can just, well, for the lobby, you do just have this, but we're going to get rid of that. And we're going to make this the location for lobby. Lobby teleport. And you are location 2. So I'll just name you location 2. And simply enough now, we will just create one more script. Local script again. And for this one, we can just rename it to teleporter GUI. And inside of here, we will get the GUI. So first off, we need the player. Game.players.local player. You can do game.players.local player because this is a local script. You cannot do this in a server script. And the local script is basically just your computer. And the server is Roblox's own servers that you have to interact with to, do stuff. Now, inside of the player will be the player GUI. So local player GUI is player get player.player GUI. But you could do wait for child player GUI in case it's taking time to load. And we will wait for the character as well. It's player.character or player.character added wait. And this basically just means the character will be equal to the player.character, or if it's not loaded yet, it will wait until the character is fully added. This is very good and important, so the code doesn't break. So make sure this is here. And finally, we'll do player GUI dot whatever you called your. Let me make it visible again. Oh wait. Whatever you call your locations. So in my case, it will be teleporter.background.player GUI. Well, to make this quicker, we can just do local background is player GUI.teleporter.bg, and now we do bg, which is this dot lobby dot mouse, or you could do activated, so it works on mobile as well. Connect. Really doesn't want to autofill anything for me, and I don't think you really need the player in there, but we'll add it. Okay, so when the button is activated, it will do whatever's in here. So we will just do character.primary.part.cframe, and the primary part is usually the humanoid root part. Just in case it's not, we can just do character find first child humanoid root part .cframe is equal to map workspace.map, because we're going to make it the location 1 teleport. Well, no, the lobby for this one, but map.lobby teleport.cframe. So just to quickly test this, yeah, there we go. See, takes me there. I haven't actually made a button to open the UI, so let me do that. Create a new button inside of the teleporter or outside, doesn't really matter where you put it. Text button, and I'm not even going to bother naming this. We're just going to take time, so you can just be the open UI. This is already inside the teleporter, so we're assuming it's opening this. And when we press this, we will do player GUI dot teleporter dot open UI dot activated, same thing, connect function the player that clicked it, and all we will do is just dot visible is equal to not background dot visible. So if it's open, it will close it, and vice versa. There we go. Now we will do this for the other ones as well. So background dot location 1. That's what I called it. Let me check. Yeah, location 1. And this will be the location 1 teleport. And we do the same for location 2. So location 2 and location 2 teleport. Now if you press the buttons, it will take you to location 2, location 1, and the lobby. Now we need to make it so you can't teleport there unless a certain value is true here, right? And you can kind of guess where this is going to go. We will actually just get the leader stats at the top here because this is a local script. So local leader stats is equal to player.leader stats. And actually in this case we need the hidden stats because we're checking if these are unlocked. So we will just get the hidden stats. And we will just do a simple check here for leader stats dot what were they? 1 unlocked dot value. Oh, we need to do an if. So do if leader stats is equal to true, then it'll do this. And the same thing for the other location. So we'll just copy this over and 2 unlocked, and you put this code in there. And now it will only work if you have it unlocked. Now you can bypass this if you're exploiting, because doing checks on the client side is a very bad idea. In this case, we don't really have to bother because you could technically just bypass through anyway if you're exploiting, because you can just phase through the wall. So since you're teleporting through the locations, it doesn't really matter if you do the checks in here. Someone could exploit through either way. The main way that people actually avoid people who bypass through to be able to do anything in here. So if someone bypassed through this and they wouldn't really be able to do anything in here, it's just to do with the actual things that's in here. So if it's like a pet simulator or something, for example, they wouldn't be able to click these coins because those coins would have a value. Well, the coins would check if you have the location 2 unlocked before you can actually, you know, click them. So the person can just walk through, but they can't do anything over there. So that's basically how you do it. You can't stop someone going through. But yeah, let me just make this invisible. And now press play. So lobby, you can always teleport there. Location 1, you cannot. And location 2, you can't because it's not unlocked. I unlocked it now, and now I can teleport to location 1, as you can see. Still can't do location 2 because I don't have location 2. Unlock location 2, and boom, now I can teleport to every single one. And now you just want to implement this with a DataStore, which I'm not going to show. And yeah, when you just rejoin, you will have these values saved, and boom, you can just go through. So yeah, that is basically it for this tutorial. And I was thinking of doing tutorials for other things as well, like how to model in Blender and import it into Roblox Studio. If people would watch that, I will try one of those for a coming video and see how it goes.